This is going to be interesting. I'm sure some people are going to be a yes, some people are going to be a no. Let's go through it together and see what we think. Somebody who's following my Instagram account sent me this video and said that it would be an interesting point to discuss. I have watched the video already and it is an interesting point to discuss. Let's play it here, go through it together and see what we think. Okay, let's get into this.
Ask yourself this, a number of Japanese parents are still sharing baths with their teenage children because they believe such close physical contact can have a positive impact on their children's grades. I'm not saying all you people who put your great results out on Twitter that you've been having a bath in the evening with your kids. Yeah, more bubbles, exactly. Some people are horrified by this idea, Stacey, but what do you think? You think it's an okay idea?
I'm not horrified at all. Anyone who's horrified about the thought of parents sharing a bath with their children, I think has issues. You know,
your 16-year-old son?
Listen, it's
Listen.
to their own. I still have baths with my children. My eldest is 9. Sometimes he gets a little bit like, oh, put the bubbles over your boobs, Mum, I don't want to see it. But at the same time, why does the body always have to be looked at as some sexual thing? Why can't it just be the human body?
Okay. Look, when you start talking about parents bathing with their children who are, let's take this example here from this lady, 9 years old, I mean, straight away, it makes you feel like you have resistance to that. Yeah, I have resistance to that. A 9-year-old bathing with their mother who's naked, you just feel resistance to that. But she is making an excellent point. Why has the body always got to be sexualized? It's just a body. It's just a human body. She's got a great point. She's got a great point. Let's listen to how she puts that again.
Still have baths with my children. My eldest is 9. Sometimes he gets a little bit like, oh, put the bubbles over your boobs, Mum, I don't want to see it. But at the same time, why does the body always have to be looked at as some sexual thing? Why can't it just be the human body? Why is it not normal?
Oh, look, there you are.
Yeah, do you know what? It's really funny, actually, because I posted that because it's a normal thing in our house. It's almost like having dinner and going to bed and reading bedtime stories. Having a bath together is how we communicate and socialise, and that's a massive part of our daily routine. But there was a few comments underneath that.
Okay, before she gets into the comments on her Instagram post, again, I just want to highlight that she's making excellent points because she's saying that for her family it's normal and it's kind of like it's their social thing, like having like you would socialize as a family having dinner at the dinner table, or you would socialize with your children whilst reading them a story. She's saying that bath time for them is a social thing that they do to connect together. Now, we know that sitting... I don't know where I'm going with this, but let's try it, right? Sitting in the ocean with friends and chatting is very communal. Sitting in hot tubs or jacuzzis is very communal. I know a little bit about old civilizations that used to have like communal baths because that used to be communal for them. So her saying, you know, it's a communal thing that her and her family do. That doesn't seem like alien to us, right? When she says that, it's like, yeah, I can see how that can happen. But again, with your son who's 9, now at the start of this video, she does say, doesn't she? Sometimes he gets a little bit like, "Oh, Mum, put the bubbles over your boobs," and you can see how it's so it's not serious. Like, it doesn't have to be serious. Since when did the naked body get so serious? And get so sexualized, like she says. Look at this picture that she posted on her Instagram, and good for her. Like, bravery to her. She's obviously going to get lots of kickback from that. And maybe some people will be looking at this picture and being like, you shouldn't be posting semi-naked pictures of your children on Instagram. That's for a different conversation. That's for a different video. Let's focus on the point here. It's a mother with her two sons in a what we can call a natural environment. It's almost like I feel resistance to this. I feel like I would feel resistance walking around naked in any situation in front of any young people. But she is making excellent points. This, for anybody that doesn't know, is Stacey Solomon. We've got her Instagram in the top left corner here. And as far as I know, she is a singer. She's had songs out as an artist, and she's also a television personality. This show that we're looking at here is called Loose Women here in England. I don't really, I don't watch it, but I have an understanding that a large part of the audience here are mothers and parents, and this is a show that I have my eye on. This is a show that I'm aiming for. Now that my work has started, a large section of my work is about education, getting into schools, talking to parents, discussing how the best ways that we can educate our children and equip them for the dangers they may face in their lifetime. This show, I feel like, is perfect for me to get on with that kind of information and that side of the project that we're building here. I'm still trying to push for that. Okay, let's get back to the video.
Almost like having dinner and going to bed and reading bedtime stories. Having a bath together is how we communicate and socialise, and that's a massive part of our daily routine. But there was a few comments underneath that picture that did make
Well, listen, can I just apologise now? I'm sorry.
I knew it. This is wrong on so many levels. No, it isn't. You just saying that is wrong on so many levels. Your mind must be twisted. Well, that's debatable. Each their own, but I think it's not very healthy to do this, and you have to teach children boundaries and privacy. I mean,
But surely they'll tell you. They'll get to an age where they'll say to you, Mum, it's, I'm not...
I don't want to get in the bath with you anymore.
So I didn't see Joe in that picture.
Joe, do you know what? Joe would jump in. He'd wear his pants or boxers or whatever, but he would jump in the bath with us. It's our family time.
How big is your bath?
Yeah, it's home and bath.
Okay, that's interesting that she says, I'm guessing that Joe, that was the name, right? Joe is her partner, and he would wear underwear. So why would he wear the underwear and she not wear the underwear? That's really interesting, isn't it? That's really interesting. Why is there that difference there? Because, what we're trying to say through this video is a naked body is a naked body. It's a natural thing. We're all born with it. Why are we sexualizing it? Why are we afraid of it? Why do we create mystery around it? Why do we create secrecy around it? Why do we create shame around it? It's just a body. So this is what she's, kind of promoting here. But her husband or partner would wear the underwear. Why? Let's see if they say something about this.
Actually live in a waterfall.
I knew that about you. There's unicorns and everything.
No. Why did we gloss over that? I don't know why that's been glossed over. Let's get back to it again. Where is it?
How big is your bath?
Yeah, it's home and bath. Actually live in a waterfall.
I knew that about you.
But surely they'll tell you. They'll get to an age where they'll say to you, Mum, it's, I'm not...
I don't want to get in the bath with you anymore.
So I didn't see Joe in that picture.
Joe, do you know what? Joe would jump in. He'd wear his pants or boxers or whatever, but he would jump in the bath with us. It's our family time.
How big is your bath?
Nobody questions it. Why does nobody question that decision? I want to know why. I want to know why he's wearing the underwear and she's not wearing the underwear. What's the difference? Anyway.
It's home and bath. actually live in a waterfall.
I knew that about you. There's unicorns and everything.
Apparently the Japanese love bathing, though. They have some real special value to bathing. They see it as quite kind of... Well, you obviously really... I hate baths.
Oh, I love a bath.
I haven't had a bath for 20 years.
Really?
You should get in one of my baths.
I'll come round. What should I wear?
Anything you want. Nothing.
Oh, I love a big bath, don't you? It's the best.
I do love a bath. And I think it's really sad that... listen, I understand if you don't want to have a bath with your children and you don't like it, but I think it's sad to sit there and judge people and say that's wrong or disgusting.
What do you do, Denise?
Well, I have a bath.
Yeah, okay. Let's talk about that point she just made there. It's wrong and sad that somebody would point the finger and judge that decision for her to have a bath with her own children without a swimsuit of some sort on. Would it be weird for her to get into the bath with a swimsuit and her children be like, Mum, why are you wearing a swimsuit? Would that cause some, like, what the kids would be like, why are you wearing a swimsuit? What are you hiding? What are you ashamed of? What are you trying to keep a secret? Does that cause some conflict in a child's head when they're in the bath naked? Everybody's in the bath naked. But Mum's wearing a swimsuit? That's weird. So does you know, it's obviously this whole thing can be debated either from either side. Of course, that's the case. But for people to point the finger at her and attack her, saying that it's wrong and this is disgusting and this is dirty, I don't know whether those opinions are valid, because her intention with her family tradition is not untoward. It's not evil in any way. It's loving. It's a loving intention. So should we attack her or just let her do her thing? Okay.
He always has a bath with me. It's just normal for us.
How old is she?
She's 7.
Oh,
so
okay,
yeah, she's still little. But
let's see what she's saying about this.
Listen, I understand if you don't want to have a bath with your children and you don't like it, but I think it's sad to sit there and judge people and say that's wrong or disgusting.
What do you do, Denise?
Well, I have a bath. Betsy always has a bath with me. It's just normal for us.
How old is she?
She's 7. So, yeah, she's still little. But there's not really a cut-off point for me. It's whenever she turns around and says there's not enough room anymore.
Yeah. Well, what about your partner?
Oh, but Eddie. So Eddie, well, obviously Eddie stays over a lot. We don't live together yet, but yeah, obviously, because it's not his daughter, we are careful about nudity and things in the house, you know. I mean, we do run across when I'm going to the bathroom with Betsy. She goes, tells Eddie he's got to go and watch West Ham, and we run across like this to get in the bath. But yeah, we don't. He's respectful. He always wears his pants and that when he's, you know, getting out of the bed or whatever in the morning. It's a respect thing, isn't it?
Okay. So, Eddie is Denise's partner. Denise also being a TV personality. Eddie is her partner, and he will always cover up because that's not his daughter. Now, I get that. Why do I get that? Why do I get that? Why, I'm sure many of you that are listening here, watching here, also get that. You wouldn't expose yourself in front of that. No, that's the incorrect term. You wouldn't not have underwear on in front of the 7-year-old because that's not your daughter. But if it is your daughter, some people would say that would be okay. Why? I'm just trying to question my own instant reaction there. It must be like a safety thing, or it was an automatic reaction from me. Yes, your partner, that's not her father, so he should definitely not be not wearing underwear. That was my immediate reaction. Why do I feel like? I feel like these things are interesting to ask ourselves why we have that automatic response. I think it's a good automatic response and a valid one. But what I'm sensing from this is we're happy. Or these women sitting at this table are happy with the mothers being naked in front of the children, but when it comes to the fathers, it's a bit different. And why? Maybe I kind of feel that way a little bit as well. Is it because actually the genitals are different? There's a with the male genitals, it's almost like we could say there's something there. You know, just excuse me, yeah, like I'm not going to get the wording perfect here. There's a, I mean, I can't. There's no difference between the female and male genitals, right? They're just different shapes. Okay, they're just different shapes and they look different. That's how I should say this. But we've got a difference here, haven't we? I feel like we've definitely got a difference. We've definitely got a difference. Okay.
You know, it's not his daughter, so yeah.
Well, we did a poll as well, and we asked, is there anything wrong with sharing a bath with your teenager?
Oh, okay, interesting.
And 91% of people thought there was something wrong with sharing a bath with your teenager.
Oh, now that poll is teenagers. That poll is teenagers. So how do we feel about this? How do we feel about this? So we're talking now from 13 years and above. So from 13 years and above, 92% of the poll say yes, there's a problem with bathing with your teenagers. But let's take Stacey as an example. If she's bathing with her children naked for the whole of their childhood, why not continue that into their teenage years? Why not? Like, if anything, it's okay to carry it on into your teenage years, because then they're teenagers and they're growing into adults and they understand more. So surely, actually, it's that age range where it's could be considered more okay. Why stop it at 13? And you wouldn't have any problem with going. Well, I don't think many people would have a problem if they were to go to a nudist beach, let's say, and to get in the ocean. If the nudist beach is 18 onwards, you would never have a problem with getting into the ocean, a bath, with your parents naked in that situation. Of course, that's because from 18 you're considered an adult. So for these different age groups, we have different opinions on this. That's a large majority result on that poll, right? A large majority result. So interesting.
I mean, well, I've got girls, but I mean, Charlie's 15. I think if I tried to get into the bath with her, she'd drown me. She should. But I mean, I'll go in and chat to her when she's in the bath, so it's not as if it's like
the same, isn't it,
nudiness,
really?
you know.
The same thing.
Oh, gosh.
We've all got bits, haven't we?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
They're not the best they used to be, though.
But do you know what, as well? Sometimes you can have conversations with them in that environment about certain things you couldn't normally. So sometimes it's a good thing,
definitely.
you know, to explain about growing and Betsy asked me questions about my bits. And
Okay. For me, that's another great point. Is that the great time to be open and free with your child? Maybe they point at mum's bits and say, "Oh, what's that? What's this? What's this?" And it's an opportunity for potentially a few questions and a few answers to teach the child that we're open about our bodies. There's no shame or secrecy around it. No shame around it. I just think this is so... Honestly, I think it's really, really interesting. We'll just skip back a little bit to her point, Denise's point, because I thought that was really good.
What I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
They're not the best they used to be, though.
But do you know what, as well? Sometimes you can have conversations with them in that environment about certain things you couldn't normally. So sometimes it's a good thing,
definitely.
you know, to explain about growing and Betsy asked me questions about my bits and I'll tell it to her straight.
Okay, that's the end of that. Okay, for me, that is an incredible video to open discussions on an interesting point. Regardless whether you are for or against it, this is interesting. I'm sure if you were to put together some kind of pros and cons, advantages or disadvantages, for or against argument, you could equal them out on this, I feel like. And I feel like they held the discussion really well. Of course, they're four ladies who seem to be all for the subject. None of those four ladies seem to be objectively against this discussion. So, of course, yes, then it makes for an easy discussion on a panel like that. But, yeah, I don't know what I would do. and I wouldn't have any advice for anyone. I need to think a little bit more about what side of the fence I actually sit on, but all of their points made sense. All of their points made sense. So maybe I'm veering to, well, I tell you what I definitely am, and that is, if somebody wants to do that, I'm thinking, as long as these things come from a position and an intention of love and kindness, then who are we to say anything? A position of love and kindness towards the child. No evil in there, no any other negative emotion in there, then who are we to say anything? So I really would be interested in your opinion on this, of course. Drop your comment, drop your opinion in the comments section. Let's get a discussion going on this. It'll be great to hear from you on this. Another interesting video, another interesting reaction. Keep an eye on this YouTube channel. We're growing every day. Thank you.